The question brought to the text is this: how does the precise placement of the nail wounds through the wrists rather than the palms, together with the consequent flexion of the thumbs through median nerve damage, corroborate Roman crucifixion mechanics and the physical reality of Joshua Messiah's suffering? The lead verse that opens the answer is First Enoch chapter 62, verse 7. It is not a wound text. It is a blessing text. All who sleep not above in heaven bless him. The holy ones bless him. The elect who dwell in the garden of life bless him. Every spirit of light blesses him. And all flesh shall beyond measure glorify and bless his name for ever and ever. The direction of the text is affirmative from the first word to the last. The one whose body is in question is not a victim whose wounds are the final word. He is the one whom all flesh blesses. So the question about wrists and thumbs is received inside a larger covenant vision. The wounded one is the blessed one. I must be honest with you. The drawn text does not supply the words wrist, palm, thumb, or median nerve. Those words are not in the text. They belong to modern forensic study. What the text does supply is the priestly grammar of the body: blood, hands, flesh, blemish, wounding, placement. The old altar refused a bruised or cut offering. Leviticus chapter 22, verse 24 says, "You will not present to the Lord what is bruised, crushed, broken or cut." That is a real tension. It is not suppressed. The old altar had no room for a wounded body. And yet the same text declares the blood of the covenant. Exodus chapter 24, verse 8 says Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, declaring, "The blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you." The covenant is made in blood. The bodies of the sin offerings whose blood is brought into the sacred place are burned outside the camp of Israel. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 11. The priestly system is exact about bodies because the body is where consecration happens. Before the altar receives any wound, the text already names the consecrated firstborn. Numbers chapter 3, verse 13 says, "All the consecrated firstborn are mine, and on the day that I killed all the firstborn in the covenant inheritance land of Egypt, I consecrated unto me all the firstborn in Israel, both man and animal, and they will be mine, I am the Lord." The firstborn belong to the Lord. The Levites are given as a gift to the priesthood, and the priesthood itself is their inheritance. The covenant children of Israel gave to the Levites out of their priestly inheritance cities and their suburbs. The body of the one who suffers is not a stranger to this household. He is the firstborn, the consecrated one, the one in whom identity and inheritance and priesthood meet. That is not a forensic claim. It is a covenant claim. So the old altar's refusal is not the last word. The body that is cut, bruised, and broken is not offered because it is wounded. It is offered because it is the covenant body. That is a pastoral reflection, not a direct statement of the text. But it is the direction the full reading resolves. The sharpest textual anchor for this question is First Enoch chapter 40, verse 5. It speaks of the elect one and the elect ones who hang upon the Lord of spirits. That is not a Roman crucifixion report. It is not anatomy. But it is a suspension of the body and life upon the Lord. The question asks about nails through wrists. The text answers one level deeper. The elect one hangs upon the Lord. The lead verse gives the outcome. All flesh shall bless him forever. The same text insists the body is real. Enoch lifted up his hands and blessed the Holy One with the tongue of flesh that Elohim made for the children of men. The letter of Messiah is written not in tablets of stone but in fleshy tablets of the heart. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. Elohim is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in covenant truth. The spirit does not dissolve the body. The body is the tablet the spirit writes upon. The body of Joshua Messiah is not a symbol that floats away. Beauty for ashes, the oil of sacred joy for mourning, the mantle of praise for the spirit of heaviness. The wound is not denied. It is transformed. What the mathematics shows is not the proof of a nail. It shows a statistically confirmed non-random pattern across multiple independent channels. The triple convergent standard for identity, inheritance, and priesthood reaches 28.97 sigma against a baseline of 1.44%. That is a very strong presence. The polarity balance is affirmative at 5.0. The anomaly detection E-value is extreme. The convergence confidence index is 100% across 6 active channels. The false discovery correction leaves 8 of 12 markers standing. The pattern is robust to permutation controls. The mathematical verdict is yes, affirmative pattern polarity, a strong anomaly. But that verdict does not verify a specific Roman nail or a specific median nerve. It verifies the coherence and direction of the drawn text. Prospective replication is recommended to establish persistence. The numbers do not stand above the word. They serve the reading. The mathematics, therefore, does not answer the question by itself. It gives the shape of the answer. It says that the drawn text is coherent, that the direction is affirmative, and that the pattern is not random. It does not say that a Roman soldier struck a nail through a wrist. It says that the text, taken whole, blesses the wounded body. The text is not afraid of the body. It is not afraid of blood. It is not afraid of the wound. So the answer is yes. The physical reality of Joshua Messiah's suffering is not foreign to the word. It is native to the priestly logic of consecration, blood, and inheritance. The question asked about wrists and thumbs. The text answers about consecration and blood. These are not enemies. The old altar refused the bruised and cut. The new covenant word says the blood of the covenant is sprinkled on the people. The body of the elect one hangs upon the Lord, and all flesh blesses him. So the physical reality of Joshua Messiah's suffering is not an intrusion into the covenant. It is the covenant made visible in a body. The precise placement of the nails belongs to real violence. The meaning of that placement belongs to the covenant. The body is real. The wound is real. And the blessing is real. The wounded body is a real body, and the real body is the blessed body, because all flesh shall beyond measure glorify and bless his name for ever and ever. The lead verses drawn in this altar of reception session were 1 Enoch chapter 62, verse 7, Joshua chapter 22, verse 10, Numbers chapter 3, verse 13, 1 Kings chapter 14, verse 15, Leviticus chapter 22, verse 4, Joshua chapter 21, verse 3. 94 further verses were drawn in this session. This concludes today's interpretation at the altar of reception.